our farms with you. BraveHearts founders Marge and Dr. Rolf Gunner believe deeply in a miracle farm located in Harvard, Illinois. Marge was a lifelong equestrian, and she discovered the therapeutic benefits of horses when she spent time with her horse Max, who was a Lipizzan, while she battled through ovarian cancer. That exact same barn where Marge found wellness with Max was the place that gave Marge the idea to start BraveHearts. BraveHearts began in 2002 as a 501c3 nonprofit and began by serving children with various diagnoses through therapeutic riding. In 2007, Dr. Gunner, a Korean War veteran and a medic on the front lines, started a movement to serve United States military veterans with horses, all at no cost. Dr. Gunner had personally walked the farms and spoke of the peace that he found at the farms and that the horses had shared with him. And he had hoped to share this same feeling with other veterans. Now, nearly 20 years later, BraveHearts has 2 full-time, year-round farms, which are both premier accredited centers with PATH. From hosting the Special Olympics Equestrian Games to having a full outpatient clinic that specializes in hippotherapy, BraveHearts services are for children and adults. After we had created a solid foundation of the necessary programs to start BraveHearts, we really began to innovate. And we found that by developing veterans who initially were participants and helped them go on and become certified instructors, really gave them an opportunity to show other veterans to really see firsthand the outcomes of our programs. We also launched Operation Mustang, where we traveled to Wyoming to the Bureau of Land Management pens and brought home wild horses to train with the veterans and let them help them gentle them to become therapy horses. We now have 8 wild Mustangs, and not only do they serve as therapy horses, but they've traveled across the country with our veterans on their backs to ride on Trail to Zero, our 20-mile veteran prevention of suicide rides across the country. Emotional regulation is required with horses. Horses don't judge, and they always seek peace. It's amazing to think about how one horse can change a life. A single horse can change your life. The horse that did that for me was named Prince. And that's what we get to see every day at BraveHearts. Horses simply make us better people. Horses heal. And if you've already experienced this with a horse, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, the question today is, what do you have to lose? Because when you get the chance to spend time with a horse, you get the chance to find your very best self. We try and help horses at BraveHearts, and that always makes people feel better. We try and pay it forward at BraveHearts. We hope that tonight brings you up close with the very special hearts of our angel horses, like Samson here, and some of our extraordinary participants. Thanks for riding with us, and God bless you all.
Megan, thank you so much for your words. I'm Pete Hickstaff, and I got to meet Megan and many of the vets who ride at BraveHearts last September when the team stopped by Fox and Friends as part of the Trail to Zero. The organization came to the big city to ride 20 miles on horseback and let our country know about the veteran suicide epidemic and exactly how horses help vets. Now, I got to meet some of the vets participating in the ride who candidly explained that working with horses got them through some of the toughest moments in their lives. BraveHearts is the largest program in the nation of its kind, serving vets all at no cost. As an Iraq and Afghanistan vet, I love the work happening to help veterans overcome their struggles. I even told Megan and the vets that maybe next year I'll be a part of the ride. We shall see. It's all up in the air right now. As you know, we have a pandemic going on, and it makes me think more than ever of vets that are struggling alone. And that's why it's so important to support organizations that help our vets. BraveHearts needs our support. It's an honor to be here tonight. I encourage you to participate in any way that you can. Thank you so much for joining in. From my home to yours, back to you. I turn it back to Bart and Ro, our hosts for this evening.
my microphone's on.
There we go.
There we go. Are we good? Are we good? Very good. All right.
Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. You got to get me going here, Ro.
Bart, I knew that was going to happen. Okay, so let me start over again. I'd like to thank Megan and Pete for that great introduction. It gives you a little idea about what BraveHearts is all about. I'm Ro Khan from WGN Radio in Chicago and ABC Television. He's Bart McCartan, just from being Bart McCartan. I think there's no other way to describe exactly who he is. I'll let you. Would you like to describe who you are before I continue on here?
We don't have enough time tonight here, Ro. We only have an hour.
I think that's probably true. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight, we've got a number of missions tonight. First of all, the most important mission is we want to raise $50,000 for this program. And as you just heard Megan talk about, the really important part is that these are veterans that we are trying to help, and the horses too, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. The veterans are the people who have gone out and potentially risked their lives, their livelihood, their family's future for the United States of America. We owe them for what they are doing. And many of them come back, especially those who've seen combat, come back with PTSD. And that's on us as Americans to try to deal with that. And what BraveHearts has done in the most unique and creative way is to match horses in need with veterans in need. And horses, as Megan said, seek peace. And they can teach peace to humans as well. And that is what we're doing tonight. And $50,000 is all we're trying to raise. Bart could just, Bart's got that in his pocket right now, but we're not just going to ask Bart for it because he's already given a lot. Let's ask you for it as well. And it will explain exactly how we're going to do that. So, Bart?
That's right. And thanks, Ro. And again, it's great to be here with everyone tonight. What an amazing organization and an amazing group of people that we serve. Tonight, as Ro said, we're going to be talking about the power of the horse and its healing and all of the things that come for that. And we're going to be doing it in an overview by sharing with all of you an overview of BraveHearts. We're going to be giving an introduction to all the veteran programs and our programs for children. And then we're going to wrap up with this fall's Trail to Zero ride. Trail to Zero is BraveHearts' ride to raise awareness of the terrible epidemic of veteran suicide and stop it in its tracks, and doing that with horse therapy. Our goal is to serve as many veterans from across this country as humanly possible. And last year, because of everybody's support, we served over 1,000 veterans. And now this year, once again, with all of your help, we hope to serve even more.
There are 5 sections tonight, 5 different things we're going to do tonight. There's Operation Mustang, which when you hear about it, you're going to, in your mind's eye, you probably know a little bit about this, but we're going to explain to you what Operation Mustang is all about. And it's going to break your heart, but reaffirm a lot of what we're doing here tonight. Also, our general program, how we operate and what we do here at BraveHearts, and also part of our COVID relief efforts, which are a big thing here right now. Obviously, everybody is different. Every organization, whether it's a charitable organization or a business or even individuals and families and households, everybody has to behave in a little different way here. So we're going to help explain how BraveHearts is handling that in terms of all of our programs. And then Trail to Zero, which is one of the coolest programs that you have not heard about yet, unless you're a part of our organization, you know about it, but we need you to tell everybody you know about it, Bart.
That's right. So to kind of give everyone kind of the layout for tonight and how it's going to work, there's going to be 3 main areas that all of you can give to support all the amazing programs that Ro just mentioned. First, our auction. We have 50 silent auction items, and I'm telling you, they run the gamut from veteran-made items to a pair of sapphire earrings to a vacation in Punta Mita, Mexico at the Four Seasons. And let me tell you, for all of us who've been pent up and set back here and from COVID and being sheltered in place, I'm ready to go to Punta Mita. So let's talk about how to do this. Let me walk you through just how easy this can be. Let's take out your phone or pull up your browser on your computer, and you go to givergy.us BraveHearts. And you can see that on the link below, which you can also click on. Once you get there, first, you'll want to make sure that you find the item you want to bid on. Secondly, enter your bid and follow the prompts on your screen to secure that bid. You're probably going to need to register if you haven't done that already, but it's super easy to do. Even I was able to do it. And just a friendly reminder that we're going to leave that auction open until 9 o'clock this Sunday so that you have plenty of opportunity to enjoy the show and a cocktail tonight and then be able to still bid on these wonderful items. Secondly, we have our virtual paddle raise, and out of respect and honor to our veterans, appropriately named the Raise Our Flag campaign. By raising our flag, you can give via this virtual paddle at various levels. You can do that by texting MayDay to 44321. Once again, that's text MayDay to 44321. Finally,
And
we'll be able to bring our new Mustang home program. Yeah, we'll be able to bring our new Mustang home program. And Roe's going to be talking to us and filling us in a little bit about that later. But this is an opportunity now for me to kick off the first component, our Operation Mustang. Our main goal in Operation Mustang is to introduce BraveHearts to you as an organization, and then hopefully letting our friends know of our work and bringing new friends and donors and supporters into the initiatives and programs of BraveHeart. BraveHearts got its first wild horses as a part of the Operation Mustang program back in 2013. And BraveHearts began Operation Mustang by partnering vets and wild Mustangs together. You see, our vets work with horses, helping the horse to have their first touch, their first halter, their first saddle, their first ride. And to say that it's a powerful experience is an understatement. You see, these Mustangs help with emotional regulation, and vets who are adrenaline seekers or dealing with PTSD or other issues, the Mustangs also require trust before they can share trust back with our vets. Our vets are able to relate with these wild horses as they're in similar circumstances, and they both bring brilliant opportunities to share and to be able to come to peace with each other. Now, after gentled and trained, we're using our Mustangs in the Special Olympics, in hippotherapy, therapeutic riding, horse shows, trail rides, retreats, drill teams, and even equestrian-assisted psychotherapy. These are just a few of the programs that BraveHearts brings to our veterans, our first responders, and our children. We hope to add one more to our herd tonight. You'll get the chance to help. Roe?
And let's get started with a very special message from Bo Derek and some veterans who've been helped by BraveHearts.
Bo Derek here to help kick off National Military Appreciation Month. Thank you so much for supporting BraveHearts and all the great work they do. Your contributions are going to help BraveHearts continue to give beautiful horses a loving home and to help out our servicemen and women through some tough times. Because horses...
How do we do there, fellas?
I'm Mitchell Headland, and I was in the Army for 4 years, where I was an infantryman, and I deployed as an infantryman to Afghanistan, where I was injured mentally and physically. Coming back, not only from that environment, and then getting medically discharged from the Army, I felt like I had nothing. And when I had nothing, that's when I isolated myself and always feel sorry for myself. Not work on myself, PTSD, or even care to. I just wanted it all to end. I wanted to stop the fight inside of myself. Then I found BraveHearts. And when I first showed up to BraveHearts, I was a little hesitant. I was scared of horses, completely terrified. Then I met someone who really sparked my interest in it, and it was mostly him. I saw this man, and I saw him healthy. Saw him healthy mentally, and I wanted a piece of that, and I wanted to learn how he learned that. So I followed my mentor around and tried to learn everything. And he finally introduced me to the Mustangs. And that's where I found my passion and my love. Those Mustangs, they were able to see the truth inside of me, something that I couldn't see inside of me. Not only did they see it, they were able to show it to me, and I was able to see with their body language. And when I started to learn how to interact appropriately with a Mustang, I started to learn more about myself. I truly, truly need those Mustangs. I need them in my life every day. They truly bring joy to me. They teach me how to trust. Not only how to trust, but how to love appropriately, and how we all have something to work on. They've really changed my entire mindset. Going from before the Mustangs to isolating, drinking, not talking to anyone, in a wheelchair, completely broken physically and mentally, to now working with those Mustangs. I now have more confidence in myself. I trust myself finally. I trust those Mustangs, and I also trust the people I'm always with, my coworkers and my family. That's something I could not say 6 years ago. Mustangs can literally change a person 100%, from down to nothing to someone that can be looked up to in their community. Thank you.
Hello everybody, this is Ben Masters from the documentary film Unbranded, where we adopted 16 Mustangs and rode them up from Mexico to Canada, and it's an honor to be here virtually with BraveHearts. I wish I could be there personally, but the coronavirus has us all down. And I just wanted to give a big shout out and a thank you to everybody who adopts Mustangs and helps out veteran organizations like BraveHearts. It's some really amazing work that they do. It's an honor to be here and an honor to be a part of it. Y'all have a good one. Adios.
Howdy, y'all. My name is Mitchell Reno, and I'm a U.S. Army infantry veteran of Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom. I want to share real quick with you guys a little of my story. I spent well over a decade suffering the effects of war. When I came to BraveHearts, I was an extremely at-risk veteran. I was on 16 scripts. I was a complete alcoholic. I had lost everything: my wife, my sons, my house, anything that mattered was gone. I was at rock bottom. But as luck would have it, in a matter of minutes, my whole life was about to change. Standing in the round pen at BraveHearts with a wild Mustang named Booyah. He'd spent 20 years of his life in the wilds of Wyoming. The arena was so silent, it was deafening. All that was audible was the air thrusting through his flaring nostrils and the stomping and raking of the sand beneath his feet. His cow kicks cut through the air like a shotgun blast. My heart was racing. Adrenaline bursting through my veins just like in combat. And I love adrenaline. It was like a slingshot into the present, which is where horses live anyways, but I felt alive again. I wasn't dwelling on the past. I wasn't worried about the future. I was just in awe of Booyah. He had scars from head to hoof from fighting to keep his mares, scars from predators, scars from just trying to stay alive. And God, how that hit home. Sheer will and perseverance is how he was in front of me, 1,000 miles away from his home, in captivity, staring me down, asking me, "Who are you, bud? What do you want from me?" I picked up my lead rope and I ran him around the pen, one direction, drew him back for a turn, ran him around the other direction. I began to step forward, putting pressure on, easing it off, moving side to side. Our dance went on like this until finally, first touch, I brushed my hand over his scar-riddled neck. And in that moment of willingness and trust on both our parts, I couldn't keep it in. I began to weep, shedding years of disillusionment and guilt and pride. I walked out of that round pen that day, leaving the weight of the world in the sand. That horse had hooked me, and for the first time in a long time, I looked forward to the next day. I've been sober now 4 years. I'm only on 4 scripts. I have my family, I have my house, I have my kids. With God's grace and mercy and the healing power of the horse, more amazing days have followed at BraveHearts with my brothers and sisters, the horses, and the incredible selfless staff who I'm proud to call my family.
Wow. It doesn't get any more real than that. And I want you to meet one of our Mustangs right now. We're talking about the Mustangs, and we're talking about the stories of how these animals, these soulmates of ours, really is a better term for it, can help each and every one of these veterans that we are trying to help. And last Veterans Day, this particular Mustang was in a kill pen when he was saved by one of our board members. He has no name right now, but tonight we're going to name him. And we're going to name him MayDay. MayDay is 15 years old. And we're hoping that the next 15 years are much better than the first 15 years he had. He's in Scurry, Texas. And with your help, we hope that you can bring him up to BraveHearts for our veterans. MayDay costs about $5,000 a year to board, feed, and train. And each one of our Mustangs costs about that. Now, I just want you to think about as we look at this beautiful animal who is as sentient, as in times emotional. People who've been around horses know this. They're very thoughtful, but they're emotional. But like Megan so beautifully said earlier, they seek peace. And I know now we have friends watching him in Australia and Canada and the UK, and everybody is rooting for this boy right here. So get to your phones and let me walk you through how you can help him. Text BRAVE to 44321. Click on the link in the message that you receive and donate your support to MayDay. Because MayDay and all the rest of our horses, and most importantly, our veterans, are in need of your help right here.
So true, Ro, so true. And what a beautiful story of how these amazing Mustangs and all these horses have such a profound effect on our veterans and all the ways in which they help. And that really takes us to where we are now. And, you know, I think it's important when we think about how these horses interact and what they mean to this organization. You know, and with that, I think it's appropriate, as I pull my wallet out here, we all carry sometimes pictures of our loved ones along with us in our wallet. And I have one here, and this is of Katie and I's horse, Neil, at the farm that we're fortunate enough to sponsor every year and have a part of our lives for the last 4 or 5 years now. And, you know, that really sets the standard in my mind to talk about what these horses mean to us, because these beautiful and majestic animals, they are way beyond just that beautiful animal that we see every day, that wonderful horse. What they are is they're the foundation for all the programming, for all the healing, and for everything that we provide our veterans. Each one of the horses we have at BraveHearts, they each have their own fan club. These horses help people literally get out of bed every morning. They help them work hard at their therapies and teach unbelievable, valuable life lessons. Right now at the farm, we have over 43 different horses that are available to our vets and for all the programs that we do. We refer to these horses as our angels in fur, and that's because we really feel that way about them. Because the absolute magic, the absolute unconditional and sincere love that they give to our veterans, that they give to every single one of us who has the opportunity to step into the arena with them, makes the largest difference you could ever make. As Ro mentioned earlier, costs $5,000 a horse per year just to make sure that we take care of them at the level that they take care of all of us. We provide them the best care in every way possible to ensure that we can help as many veterans as possible. In 2019, this herd of horses delivered over 1,700 people with over 25,000 sessions. Again, these beautiful and majestic animals are a life-saving, life-altering extension of our therapies. Again, you just saw a new Mustang that you can still send support to bring him home. And once again, we want to remind you to text BRAVE to 44321. That's BRAVE to 44321. And now we're going to hear a bit more about how horses influence our BraveHearts family.
Good evening. My name is Ken Boyd. I am a Gold Star father, and I'm chairman of the board here at BraveHearts. We became involved with BraveHearts, my wife Patty and I, about 8 years ago. We had lost our son in Afghanistan. He was Corporal CJ Boyd, killed in August of 2010. And BraveHearts reached out to us. And they had a program here. They brought us in. And I can truly say from experience that it's a life-saving experience. I have been through, as anybody would, if you lost your son and you get some of the deepest, darkest places in your lives, that you kind of go to the edge of that cliff every night. And this is what pulled us out. This horse and BraveHearts program is amazing. They work great things. This guy right here is CJ's brother, named after my son. And what the program does with us now is it allows us to pay it forward for the veterans, so we can see all the great things that happen when you see a veteran comes in, and when they leave, there's a brightness to their smile, there's a shine in their eye, and it gives us a way to pay it forward for those guys who put it on the line, those guys and girls who put it on the line for us every day. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate it, and we hope you can give us some support here. And thank you very much, and God bless.
Hi, I'm Mel Blunt, former Pittsburgh Steeler and NFL Hall of Famer. I'm going to share with you a little story about my own life. Growing up on a farm in Georgia, I was always around horses because horses was a way of life. Horses and mules, wagons, sleds, those are the things that we used on the farm, my parents, to make a living. So I have a first-hand experience of the therapeutic part that horses plays in a person's life. Even when I got to the National Football League, tough games, the pressures of playing pro sports, horses was the thing that I always went back to. I remember being in tough games, championship games, whether you won them or lost them. I would go back, use a horse to ride for therapy for my own self, just to get away from the pressures of the game. So, Ms. Hill, what you're doing with the BraveHearts Association, your organization, and working with veterans, I just want to say, hope God continue to bless you, because I know when these veterans come back, sometimes they do have problems readjusting into civilian life. And what you're doing with the horse to help them get through tough times is so important, because horses are a great animal. And the old saying, the outside of a horse is good for the inside of a man. And you're proving that to be true. God bless you. Keep up the good work, and hope God continue to keep you and use you to glorify his kingdom.
Hi, I'm Bob Baffert, and this is my wife, Jill.
Hi, we're here in Southern California, and we wanted to say hello to all of you watching. I know we're all going through some pretty trying times right now, and we just wanted to say hello and talk to you a little bit about the horses and how they've changed our life and how they affect all of our lives, really, when you're involved with them. You've had a lot of once-in-a-lifetime horses, but I would say in the last few years you've really exceeded what anybody would ever have dreamed for with American Pharoah, who's right there, and Justify, who's just behind my left shoulder. So how did they change your life?
Well, I think, about those two horses that I really, after Silver Charm, some of these good horses, you never think you're going to have another good horse again, and all of a sudden, here comes American Pharoah, and probably the kindest, sweetest horse you've ever been around, but when he stepped on that track, he was just a beast. And he was just so much fun to watch run, but to be around him, if ever I was having a bad day, I would just go to his stall and he would just nuzzle up to me and all my worries went away. And so these horses, they bring out, you know, the really good in you. And I mean, just to be around them, I can't imagine not being around horses in my life, especially right now during this. Like Jill, she's not allowed to go to the track, the barn.
Yeah.
And I can see the way it's affected her.
Yeah, it really is. You're fortunate because, as you guys know, you have to get the horses out of their stalls and they have to be cared for and exercised. But that's been one of the hardest things through this whole quarantine, is not being able to go to the barn to see them, because I miss them terribly, and I feel like they miss me too. You know, I think they get used to their humans. And I'll say with American Pharaoh, I mean, he changed me. I feel like he just made me want to be a better person, to be around something that was so great. And you know, he asked for nothing. He just gave everything he had to you and didn't want anything in return. And I think when we went through that Triple Crown experience, it made me, you know, I think it humbles you and it makes you just feel gratitude for what you have, because he really was just a love. He was the sweetest horse and loved humans. And I will say, like, there was a kind of a quirk with him. He was, noise bothered him. And I feel like he might have had a little bit of what a human would equate to maybe some OCD or anxiety. I mean, he was overstimulated with noise, and once you put those earplugs in, he was a different animal. But he's still sweet and he's still loving. And Justify was a bit of a he couldn't care that much.
He was an alpha male. I mean,
he was definitely.
He's the only horse I've ever seen that could walk into the barn and the other horses would just go crazy. They knew he was in there. He'd walk in there, and he knew that he was like King Kong, and he was King Kong when he got on the track. But I mean, to be so fortunate to have horses that I've been around, and it all started with one horse that attracted me to it, because I was this quiet, shy kid growing up in Nogales, Arizona, living out on a ranch, was far away. I couldn't stay after school. I wasn't allowed to join any sports because I had to go home and take the bus.
You guys had a chicken ranch.
We had a ranch and cattle, so we had to work. We had to come home and do chores, which I don't think our son Bodie knows about chores.
he does take out the garbage. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure the horses were your refuge.
And so they brought so much joy to us that, you know, I just can't imagine being without them.
I can't either, and I just am so grateful that I have horses in my life. So, yeah, we just wanted to kind of share what horses mean to us, and because I know that they mean that to you guys. So let's all just stay healthy and take care of each other, take care of ourselves, and just look forward to the day when we can get back to taking care of our horses.
Hi, everybody. I'm Marshall. I'm a veteran out here, Marine Corps, part of BraveHearts program. I started coming in and volunteering about 5 years ago and started riding. Never really been on a horse before. This is Batman. He's one of our Mustangs, about 7 years old now. Been on Trail to Zero, our suicide awareness ride that we do, 20 miles for every veteran that we lose. That we're trying to bring that number down to zero, make that awareness out there. I came in troubled and never knew anything about equine therapy, and it pretty much has changed my life. I was severe alcoholism and PTSD. Just recently got diagnosed, and if it wasn't for these horses right now, I'd still be spiraling down. They've given me a quality of life and been a mirror and a reflection of my center, and brought me to a good place. Love BraveHearts, the veterans, the volunteers, the staff. I'm so grateful to be a part, and loving life as it is. So thanks for sharing this time. Got Batman in the round pen today a little bit. Gave him a good little brushing. He's latched on and just likes being around. He misses everybody like I do. So we'll get back to it and keep on riding, and have a great day.
You know, for people who've been around horses, and I've been around them my whole life, you can't explain to people what it is that they know, because they know something, and it almost appears as though they know something that we don't know, and
That's right.
Perhaps they do. Maybe they're closer to the earth or in some way than we are, and they're very special animals. You saw the whole thing. You saw how horses and humans can interact, and that's what we're doing tonight. That's why we are raising the money we are. And again, you can see at the bottom of your screen, text MayDay to 44321, or you can go to givergy.us/BraveHearts and make a donation. Started as a 501c3 charity back in 2002. It was founded by Dr. Rolf and Marge Gunner. You've met them. And BraveHearts now has 2 full-time farms, year-round farms, in which we are servicing horses and the veterans. And we have an outpatient clinic, too, that we started a decade ago. And we're using speech and physical occupational therapists with the horses, along with the veterans that we're serving.
That's right, Ro. And, you know, to even add to that, in 2019, the organization, we served over 54 clients in our outpatient clinics that you just mentioned, and BraveHearts served over 324 participants through therapeutic riding sessions. And I'm saying that that's not including any of the vets and their family members and the programs that we provide for them. We started hosting Special Olympic equestrian games in 2012, and there's approximately now over 120 athletes that come in from 12 different teams across the Midwest to participate in that. And it's also important to note that the programs for veterans started back in 2007, and to this day, all vets participate at an absolute zero cost. Yeah.
Now, since then, we've also rolled out a new program every year, which helps both recruiting and retention. So new vets coming in and also retaining vets, because as we know, recovery is a tricky business. It doesn't happen in one thing. And we're hearing a lot of success stories here, but for every success story, there are veterans who are having problems, moving in and moving out. So that's why we especially, and I think that the horses, we know actually at BraveHearts that the horses are a draw, that we probably have in scientific terms, a better recurrence rate for people to return. Retention rate, I guess, is the term I'm looking for, the retention rate. So it's a really important thing. Now, we have Friday night drill teams, foundation horsemanship that's working in the round pen. We also have veteran retreats. We've got veterans becoming PATH certified instructors. That's a big deal. And veteran inmate programs for mental health and wellness with the horses and also with the veterans themselves. So all of this goes to the same place. We want you to continue to support us because we've got 700 volunteers at BraveHearts, and we also have a lot of vets, 29,756 last year. Well, have been touched by our program in one way or another. So again, look at the bottom of your screen right there. What are you seeing? Those are the places that you can go and give right now.
That's right. And, even to take that one step further, Ro, if you're interested in trying to become a legacy donor, so remembering BraveHearts in your planned giving, please leave a bequest in your will or give life insurance, excess retirement, all those different vehicles you can do it. You can reach out to us here at the BraveHearts team, or we can help you, or your own tax and accountants can do that. But really, there's so many ways that you can give to give back to those who have given to all of us so much, especially our veterans. And with that, we have a few more of our amazing vets and some great celebrities speaking on BraveHearts and some of our general programs.
Hi, my name's Amanda, and I served in the Navy from 2003 till 2008 as a hospital corpsman stationed at Naval Hospital, Jacksonville. I believe in BraveHearts because BraveHearts believes in me. I know it sounds too simple. It really is true, though. The staff are so kind and so generous and just some of the biggest hearted people that I have ever met. And they work so hard and they go above and beyond every single day. The camaraderie that I've experienced with my fellow veterans is unlike any other. I have not found that connection with people anywhere else. The horses, you can try to lie to a horse. They are going to call you on it every time. The horse knows what you're feeling before you even know how you're feeling. There's no faking it. And over time, being able to come in and spend the time with them, make that connection, you'll learn something about yourself. And I have become a better person because of BraveHearts.
Hello, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. And I just came today, just want to talk a little bit about BraveHearts and what they do for these wonderful veterans. The work that they do that truly helps them with these horses, which is truly amazing. I've gotten to witness this firsthand. Over about a year ago, I was so fortunate to have been a guest there. Was asked to come there and was a guest there for a whole afternoon and got to watch the veterans work with these horses and what BraveHearts was doing for them. It was just truly amazing to watch. It was incredible. This is an organization, as you can see, I truly support that helps these veterans so much. I got to even do a lot of the work myself, which was just amazing for me as well. What it did for me was just incredible. You know, I left there with so many wonderful new friends and truly they're family members to me now. We've all stayed in touch and I'm really looking forward to getting back there again. So this is something that we truly need to support. So I'm hoping that we can all find it somewhere in our hearts to donate because this is an organization that truly works and I really believe in it. And anyway, just wanted to let you guys know that. God bless you all. Stay safe and can't wait to see you all soon. BraveHearts.
Hi folks, I'm Jay Novacek, and I guess I used to play for the Dallas Cowboys a while back. My little background is my dad coach, so we moved around all the time, and I always had dogs. And every now and then we were at a place where we were able to have a horse, and loved that also. You know, that's been my whole life, is being outside, being with animals, horses, dogs, and hunting and fishing. And you know, that's what I loved. In 1991, I actually got on my first cutting horse, and since then been hooked. I've always defined success as improvement. So when I think of my little cutting and how much I've done and how much I've improved, even though it may be a small increment, you know, that's success. And so I've been very successful in that aspect of being able to ride these cutters. You know, what BraveHearts does is they give you an opportunity to get on top of an animal, get on top of a horse, and be able to find that peace, and be able to find, you know, what it is that is so enjoyable about our lives. How we can control an animal, and how we can find peace with that, and be able to have a little bit more success in our life. Because that's what it is, improvement a little bit. No matter what the situation is that we have, no matter if you're having a bad day, a good day, whatever it is, that animal can find improvement in our life. And we just thank you for everyone who's watching all this and participating in this virtual charity event. And thank you all for being such a great sport.
Good evening from the farm. I'm Bill Mercurio, U.S. Army vet, 1965 to 1967. I'm also a Vietnam veteran, and this is Bo, one of our wonderful therapeutic horses. I first found out about BraveHearts at a Colin Powell event in Rockford, Illinois. I had never ridden a horse. I'd only ridden the L, and I'm a Chicago boy. And when I first came out to the farm, I came out because my wife discovered that we could ride for free. And while I was out here, I really discovered that I love these horses. And obviously, they love us. In 2017, we tragically lost our son, 28 years old. And we spent 4 months out here every day, walking with the horses, talking, telling them our sorrows. And I found comfort and peace because horses give back so much. They are angels in fur. They listen, and they helped my wife and I start our journey back from grief. I have since become a certified therapeutic riding instructor, and my wife is an exercise rider. And the BraveHearts organization has a variety of programs for veterans. We have trail rides and drill team and volunteer opportunities. We have horse shows, and all for veterans to give them hope and purpose, which is something we all need. I want to thank you for supporting our organization.
Hello everybody, I am Brad Arnold from the rock band Three Doors Down. I would like to take a moment today to say thank you so much to all of our veterans out there. Thank you for everything that you've done for our country and that you continue to do for our country. I know that we're all going through a hard time right now, and I know that this time is especially hard on all of you, and all of you continue to be essential to our country. And thank you for putting yourself in harm's way for all of us and keeping us safe and continuing to do so. And thank you for everything, once again, that you've done. We believe in you. We've always had you back and we'll always have you back. Thank you so much. God bless you. We love you.
That's awesome. So when the stay-at-home order started around the country, BraveHearts quickly responded by rolling out over 40 programs for veterans to participate in during the COVID-19 outbreak, because it's affected our entire world. And this participation needed to be absolutely immediate, Bart.
That's right. That's right. And, you know, really just watching and being able to watch the horses and see all the things that the veterans were able to do during this process. I mean, if we think about the anxiety and all the different things that we're all experiencing, going through having a shelter in place and being really, I guess it's all about being disconnected, right? And we're all trying along to be as connected as we can, because that's the foundation of all these programs, our horses and our veterans connecting together. Just be able to watch the horses eating and grazing and being together to provide and such a calming activity and give people some sense of peace for a couple hours a day on all the cameras that were set up. And the daily veteran support call that started less than 48 hours from everything shutting down and the world changing. You know, it really allowed for all our veterans to come together and to continue everything from horsemanship conversation and learning opportunities and giving veterans something to look forward to every day. Veterans claim that, you know, this has become a part of their daily routine through this entire pandemic and stay at home. And our outpatient clinics, as a result, too, began offering all the telehealth sessions for everything from speech therapy, occupational therapy, mental health services for all of our veterans and all of the people that we serve.
Yeah, the cameras are a really important piece of this too, because we set up these cameras so that you can watch the horses continue to be in their stalls and then working. As you heard from the Bafferts, horses have to be out and they got to be working. They can't just be in a stall all day. That's not their natural environment.
That's right.
And one of the other things that's really important here is that there is not access right now to many AA or NA programs. Now think about that for a second, because people can't be around each other. People just stay at home. So how are people who are troubled with whether it's alcohol or substance abuse, how are they getting the help that they need? One of the things that we've done is those cameras are very, very helpful to our veterans, because they get to be connected back to these horses that have really been so important in their lives. And the virtual horse club that we've started, it was established to connect these participants together, and virtual horsemanship as well, the interaction. It was really interesting that in the video of the veteran there, Mr. Mercurio, and talking about the loss of his children. Do you notice how the horse was perking its ears and then nuzzled him at some point while he was
That's
talking?
exactly right.
Right? I mean,
A true
what does that
relationship,
tell
right?
us right about that, Bart?
That's right. And I think that sums it up. That's a great transition there, Ro, because really when we think about, we're through these unprecedented times that we're dealing with and the effect that this is having on all of us. Imagine, we've all carry our own anxieties of being sheltered every day and not knowing truly what's going to happen, especially early on. Think of how that's amplified for our veterans who are dealing with the emotional stress and all of the anxieties they're dealing with on top of that to begin with. And as a result, the programming that BraveHearts did and as an organization, how we adapted so quickly to ensure that all these programs were available so that we could keep them connected. And I think here's a little bit more on some of our COVID relief efforts for all of you to take a look at.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to BraveHearts virtual event tonight. My name is Amber and I'm the Veteran Services Director. I have the honor of welcoming veterans from all over the country to come to BraveHearts to experience healing horsemanship. During this time, BraveHearts has launched a variety of programming so that way veterans from all over the country are still able to access our farms, enjoy time with our horses, and receive equine therapy. Last year, BraveHearts served 1,064 veterans in over 16,000 sessions from 31 states across our great country. I challenge you, I encourage you, I welcome you, if you are a veteran or veteran family member, to check out BraveHearts and see what we can do for you. Thank you all for believing us and joining us tonight.
Hi, my name is Alexander Rodriguez. I'm a U.S. Army veteran from 2010 to 2013. Found out about BraveHearts when I first moved out here. I didn't really know anybody. I didn't really have anything. I was kind of still down and kind of in a dark place, but I heard about BraveHearts on, I believe, WGN radio, and I worked with horses in the past, but not in a capacity that I've been doing here. So I showed up one day, and they've been nothing but inviting and loving. They have, since day one, they've accepted me, and they've been, they've been there to cheer me on, even if I had bad days. They believed in me. They even make me, even saying they doesn't really make any sense because they always refer to it as we. BraveHearts to me is a family. When I didn't have anything else, they were there for me, and they, even now in this hard time, I get texts, I get everything just to make sure that I'm doing okay. And with the virtual training and all that stuff, they won't let me fail. And that's the one thing I really love about BraveHearts, is that they're good people. Before BraveHearts, I tried a few other therapies. None that really worked. I talked to, I can't even count how many different VA therapists I went through. Most people that go through the VA know that it's hit or miss. I've been over-medicated, under-medicated. Nothing worked before BraveHearts. I tried everything. And since I've been with BraveHearts, it's really changed my life. With COVID-19 and the shutdown, the farm, I haven't been able to be here, for a month and a half. That really has taken a toll on me. But BraveHearts offers a lot of virtual training that really does help, and they're always asking what the veterans' input is and if we have any ideas. They work with us to really help us to see what we want, to see what will help us and keep us motivated and, in a good headspace. We offer now many virtual trainings, virtual Zoom meetings, just behind the scenes how everything is done, just to keep us grounded, to keep us reminding us, why we're here. For any of the veterans that are skeptical about coming to BraveHearts, I know that most veterans, we feel that we're not welcome and who'd want someone that's broken, and I know those feelings are pretty mutual with most of us, but I would say just at least give it a shot. We're here to help. That's when it comes down to it, it's a home, it's a family, it's the brotherhood that we used to have. I know it's hard to find nowadays, and I know a lot of us are in a really dark spot, but BraveHearts it's a family that, you know, that I found, and you could find it too.
Good evening, BraveHearts. Good evening, Megan. Lieutenant General Scott Barrier here with Annie on camera right now here in Washington, D.C. And as you can see, I've got the Potomac to my right and the Washington Monument to the rear view here. We're thrilled to be with you, and it's great to be here this evening. A little bit about me. I've been in the Army since 1984. I've been a military intelligence officer for the entire time, and I currently serve as the Army's G2 in the Pentagon. I've been in that job about 2.5 years. Before I talk about BraveHearts, I'd like to talk a little bit about what your military is doing to support the COVID fight. Across all the services, we're heavily invested with doctors and medical professionals across the country, building hospitals and manning hospitals. The Army Corps of Engineers has been instrumental in this, and the Army Guard, the Reserve, and active duty have all supported with doctors, medics, nurses, and medical professionals en masse at all these hospitals. We also have professionals that are working to find a vaccine and working to find antivirals, and I'm confident that we're going to beat this thing. More importantly, though, I want all of you to be safe. Adhere to social distancing, adhere to whatever the rules are, and make sure that you're taking care of business at home. A little bit about BraveHearts. About a year ago, Annie and I were introduced to some folks who were supporting the BraveHearts and the Trail to Zero ride here in DC. And Annie and I have been involved with elements and volunteering with equine therapy and PATH programs for about 10 years. But when we heard about BraveHearts and learned a little bit about what they had on their website and the people who supported it, we knew that we wanted to be a part of the organization. So we helped with Trail to Zero here in DC. Now that ride had to get changed a little bit in stride, but what I noted was how resilient the veterans were and the volunteers were. We made it happen anyway. And I went from cleaning up horse manure and back of the pack to an invite from Megan to ride Bo at the front of the pack. And I can't tell you how special that was to be on that horse, to be riding with the veterans, to be part of that unit, and to get to know everybody at the stops that we made. Really inspirational time. We thoroughly enjoyed it and realized what a unique organization BraveHearts really is. From the equine therapy that they're providing our veterans to the awareness on suicide prevention that they're bringing, it really is a unique organization that has a lot to offer, and we're so proud to be a part of it, and we're so happy we could support it. What was really unique about that day for Annie and I and my family was really the veterans' stories and what they went through and what they've overcome. We are proud of their service. We're proud of what they're doing right now with BraveHearts, and it's just a really great organization doing the right things for our veterans and for America. So we know that BraveHearts will come back to Washington, D.C. soon. When they do, we'll be here for you because we're part of the family and we feel that. And we will wish you well and hope to see you soon. Good night.
That was
special.
Yeah, that is all very special.
Yeah, it really is. Through this whole night, every speaker who comes on just conveys such a sense of sincerity and expresses how much this organization serves. And I think it's important right now as we start to transition and talk about the Trail to Zero. I think it's important that we think about first just how many people this amazing organization truly helps. Think of the thousands of veterans. Think of our first responders who also suffer from PTSD and from other emotional traumas. Think about all of our special needs kids that have so many opportunities because of these amazing programs and all of the amazing supporters. But when you think about the deep roots of this organization and how it's come along and how it's grown over the years, it takes us to where we stand today with the Trail to Zero and what that's all about. To put that in perspective, in the United States, 20 veterans are lost to suicide each and every day. Trail to Zero was created in order to raise awareness of this alarming and absolutely unacceptable statistic and to offer hope through this idea and this program of healing horsemanship. The first ride was launched in 2017 and it was in New York City. The team included 5 veterans and support staff, but we also had an amazing outpouring from the NYPD's Mounted Division, who walked us through literally every step of the way.
You know, Chicagoans who are watching us right now, do know that one of the Chicago police officers who was lost, Paul Bauer, who was a commander in the Chicago Police Department, was lost a year and a half ago. He died chasing a bad guy who was armed, and he was the head of the equine unit in the Chicago Police Department for a number of years.
That's right.
And when you stop and you think about the way that the commitment that these people have to their job and to their commitment to society as a whole, the most moving moments of the memorials here in Chicago were about his work with horses. And just tells you how important that is. Let's start with one thing. One lucky bidder, I want to read this specifically because I want to get this right. One lucky bidder is going to have the opportunity to do a mile in the Trail to Zero in Chicago. And with BraveHearts, all you have to do is go to giverg.us/BraveHearts, located. You can see, well, it's right there. It's at the bottom of your screen. You can see that right now. Go there, make your bid. In 2018, we did rides in New York and DC and in Chicago in 2019, and we had 6 Mustangs in that. And now you got to remember, we go back to the beginning of this, who the Mustangs are and why they're with us and why it's so important to have them.
Right.
And that is that's a big piece here. There's a rigorous conditioning program that we put them through, and then afterwards, we're making sure that they're properly taken care of, chiropractic work and all the other works, because horses, like humans, they've got problems. And here's one other really cool thing, Bart. I know we got a lot to get to before we're out of here. We're a little over time.
No,
but the reality is that there are people who are lost to suicide, which was just mentioned. Of those 20 veterans who die a day of suicide, we have a program in which we honor veterans who died from suicide as ribbons on the horses. And our horses wear these ribbons remembering those veterans for all the other veterans and all the other people who are a part of our organization to honor what their sacrifice was, even if it was at their own hand.
That's right, Ro. And that's a great introduction to let us see now maybe a little bit more on the speakers that are going to tell us about A Trail to Zero.
Hi, it's Daniel Lubetsky, thanking everybody on Military Appreciation Month for their service to our nation and to our world. I would not be here if it were not for the courageous men and women who liberated Europe in World War II. My father was a Holocaust survivor liberated from the Dachau concentration camp by American soldiers. It's never lost on me the courage that people had, the greatest generation and generations thereafter, always keeping us safe while risking their lives. And I just want to express my gratitude to all of you. I got to know Megan from BraveHearts maybe a year or so ago. We were in Central Park and we saw people riding on horses, and I learned about this beautiful organization that helps veterans by giving them rides on horses. And there's just an incredible ethic and value to all the veterans and all the servicemen and women who take care of each other, who develop a code of honor and respect towards our community. And I just want to say thank you to all of you. I hope that all of you are staying safe and healthy, and I just want to celebrate you and thank you for everything you've done for our nation. I hope we can be there for you also.
Hi, my name is Angie Colella. I was a security policeman in the Air Force from 1989 through 1992. Like a lot of other veterans, I came home from the military struggling with PTSD and major depression. I had issues with guilt, nightmares, trust. I isolated myself and then tried to self-medicate, but substance abuse just made things worse. I basically made my life a mess. Counseling and medication did help some, but it was never quite enough. Then about 3 years ago, I was referred to BraveHearts by the VA, and that was the missing piece. When I'm working with the horses there's nothing else. I'm living in the moment, just like the horses do. I'm not thinking about trauma. I'm not thinking about the past or the future. I'm just in that moment with that horse, and that's been the key for me. I was lucky to find BraveHearts, but there are a lot of other veterans out there who aren't as lucky as I was. And 20 veterans a day commit suicide. And that's why BraveHearts started Trail to Zero. It's veterans riding on horseback 20 miles in each city that we travel to, 1 mile for each veteran that we lose every single day. The 2019 team was an amazing experience for me. I got to, again, raise public awareness about the epidemic. I got to talk to veterans and tell them that, you know what, the horses might help you too. The horses themselves were amazing. I trusted that horse to take me through urban areas like Times Square in New York and Michigan Avenue in Chicago. And I trusted and bonded with my teammates as well. I knew I could count on them, and they could count on me too. When I say that BraveHearts is like family to me, it's not cliche, it's the honest to God truth. There's nothing like that organization. So I'd like to say thank you in advance to everybody out there listening tonight. Without your generosity and support, BraveHearts and Trail to Zero just wouldn't exist. You're making a difference in my life and the lives of other veterans too. So thank you again for joining us tonight. God bless and good night.
Hey folks, it's Chad Prather here, and I want to give a big shout out to the men and women that I consider to be the real heroes, the folks who put on that uniform every day with the willingness to serve, sacrifice, and potentially give their lives for the sake of our liberty and our freedom, and thereby making this country, the United States of America, the greatest country on the planet. So thank you for your sacrifice, thank you for serving, and thank you for giving so much for our freedoms. And I want to give a shout out to Braveheart for doing so many great things with our veteran community through their equestrian therapy and just the many creative ways that they reach out to that community. God bless you guys for doing it. There's no better place than America, and it's folks like you who have made it that way. So I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, and God bless you, and stay strong. Keep your head up. Keep moving forward.
I think you get a sense of exactly how critical this need is right now, Bart, because we do have those 20 veterans a day, and that was before the COVID-19 crisis. That was before they were cut off from other sources that they had, whether it was through the VA or whether it was through AA or NA or any of the other, those folks who are really struggling with this. And you get to see how what we do is such a critical mission. Now, obviously, we wish we could serve every veteran that's come back who has a problem with our program, but we can't do that, obviously. But what we can do is touch each one at a time, and then also touch these horses one at a time.
That's right. That's absolutely right, Ro. And to do that, we have two asks for all of you here tonight. And the first is a donation to support the immediate expansion of the programs to carry us through this COVID, this unknown, how long we'll be in continuing to do this so that we don't miss a single hour with helping our vets. And our second is to take a look at donating to BraveHeart's longer term mission, and especially in supporting our Trail to Zero ride that will come again this fall. I want to remind everybody that silent auction is going to remain open until 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, Sunday, May 3rd. Once again, the website is givergy.us/Bravehearts. As the evening kind of starts to conclude here tonight, we want everyone to stay tuned for information on how you'll be able to get into our after party. Bet you didn't know there was an after party, did you, Ro? There's an after party.
Oh, no. No, I knew, Bart. I knew.
We've got an after party. And in that after party, we're going to have more testimonials from our amazing veterans, our amazing supporters, celebrities, and it'll give you more time to think about how you can support the organization, enjoy a drink, and be with your families. On behalf of Ro and I and everybody at BraveHearts, I think we just wanted to give everyone such a sincere thank you. These are such unprecedented, uncertain times, and for people to take the time out with their families and their loved ones to show the support and love and respect we have for our veterans and for the amazing people that make it so real for us at BraveHearts to make sure that they're taken care of and their families are taken care of. On behalf of all of us, we want to thank you for being here tonight. We want to thank you for your support, and God bless you and your families.